Hello, happy Saturday if it's Saturday for you. But today we're doing a 2 pile reading. So you're gonna pick your pile and see which message resonates with you. Okay, about to get into it. I like this message a lot. I like both of them. So this is pile 1. Pick your card. Instead of a crystal, we're doing a card today. So if this card is drawing to you, if this card resonates with you, it says spiritual rebirth. Then that's gonna be your reading, your pile 1. Okay. Pile 2. This card says creation on it. There's this beautiful, like, angel-like figures. That kind of looks like a brain and then the earth inside. It's very psychedelic. So if that is resonating with you, then you are pile 2. Also, I got my nails done. Okay, so let's get into pile 1. Pile 1 felt interesting to me, and let's get into the guidebook for the oracle card first, and then I'm gonna get into the tarot cards that I pulled, because I really wanted to invite some oracle magic into our spreads today, because it's fun. So this card says spiritual rebirth. It is time to send to the fires of transformation all non-beneficial residues from your multiple lives in all aspects of self that are now hindering your complete spiritual growth and expansion. And what's interesting about the word expansion coming up here is that we got the 3 of Wands reversed in the spread, and there's some patterns that are trying to be broken free from when it comes to you in this message. And it literally says it right here in the spiritual rebirth card that you're stepping into the aspects of self and realize, like, the aspects of self that are going to help you expand. And then you're realizing that there are things that might be hindering you from that expansion that need to be looked at. They need to be seen. And it's in a loving way. It's not in a way where we're punishing ourselves and being like, why did I do this in the past? Why am I like this? No, it's just, okay, I'm noticing this. And I'm noticing that this is changing naturally, because I change naturally. I change like the earth. I change like the cycles. And as long as I'm in flow and in tune with my body, I'm naturally changing. I don't even have to try, you know? Like, it's like surrendering to change. It's not like forcing it. And I think a lot of us, when we get into spirituality or spiritual growth, sometimes we try to force growth and force change, when in reality, when we live with the cycles, we surrender to a force beyond us changing us, you know? And it's just saying yes to that energy. It's like flow state is like, you don't really have to try, you know? But also, like, it's saying yes and being willing to see the uncomfortable stuff. That's important. So let me keep reading this. I'm such a yapper. There's no longer space for these things as you expand into your true soul essence. Every microscopic, every atomic part of you needs to embody and align with the blossoming, the bursting forth of your true being, your light being. The flames of the phoenix not only bring about transformation and renewal, but also surround you with the fire of protection and creativity, which this came out. And wands are very fiery, so it's interesting, these fiery elements that are coming in. Recognize your immortal soul in its full expression that is unfolding now. Be prepared for the old you to die. Devil reversed. The complete and the new you, the complete you, to rise and flourish in its glorious dance of liberation and freedom. Okay, like letting the old self die isn't like this crazy punishment of like, my old self needs to die, like it's so terrible. Like, no, it's a celebration. Like, the new you is coming to life. That is such a beautiful thing to celebrate. And, you know, it's okay to feel the feelings too of that death happening, because it is a death. But the first card that came out here is the Three of Pentacles. So it feels as though maybe there has been a pattern, King of Cups reversed, of over-giving to certain energies and maybe like taking care of the group's needs, whatever group you may be a part of, or family or whatever it is. But there's some type of over-giving when it comes to group dynamics, of like taking care of everybody's needs and kind of forgetting about your own needs and maybe emotional needs with the King reversed, right? So it's kind of a call, like a wake-up call with the Devil reversed, that you're noticing, okay, yeah, I'm noticing that there are some patterns that are leaving me feeling a little bit depleted emotionally, because I've realized that I'm giving too much to certain situations or people, and I don't have enough to fill my own cup so that I can be there for others in a way that feels sustainable. Because it's not like, oh, I'm pulling back my energy, I don't want to give to anybody. No, it's like, how can I make that relationship to the group a sustainable relationship where I also feel good, not just everybody else. And so this pattern might have kept you safe in feeling like you're seen, feeling like you're appreciated. A lot of us feel good when we feel needed, you know? But sometimes it's like you need your own care. But with the Queen of Swords reverse is also kind of telling me that there might have been a part in this dynamic, in this pattern, where you didn't really know you were doing it. So you kind of maybe justified it in a way, or your perception was a little bit distorted in this situation and you weren't able to see your truth clearly. But now you're starting to see it. Now you're starting to see, oh my God, I've been doing this the whole time. Oh my God, I did it again. But this is important though. This is good. This is gonna help me ground deeper into my truth. And that's okay. That's okay that I went to that place, because now I can have a spiritual rebirth here. Now I can alchemize this pattern and turn it into something that's going to serve me deeply and help with my expansion on my path, right? Because then we have the Three of Wands reverse, and it's like that pattern is the only thing that has been stalling this expansion that you are destined to be in. Because it feels as though with this card, it's like you want to be in an expansive place. You want something to move forward in a way. Maybe it's your craft. But the way that you have been present for others and maybe lost yourself in that, that's the only thing. Like once that shift happens, expansion awaits you. And the highest outcome is the Eight of Wands. So the highest outcome is literally like shifting that pattern, being with it, seeing it, noticing it, maybe asking yourself, where does this pattern come from? How did it serve me in the past? And how can I become aware of it and notice that it's not serving me anymore? And then how can I, from that energy, from my new energy, from this rebirth that happened, how can I look forward and decide how to move How am I going to move differently now? How am I going to fill my cup before I go out and start filling everybody else's? How do I have more discernment with the Queen of Swords? How do I protect my energy a little bit more? Right? How do I become unapologetic in my truth, even if it might hurt people's feelings sometimes? Even if it might offend people? Because sometimes when we show up in people's lives in a certain way and then we change that, they're like, yo, what happened? Why is she acting all weird? Why is he not giving me as much attention as he was before? Sometimes when we show up differently, it's gonna offend people and people might take it personally. So it's like staying strong in your clarity, staying strong in your truth, staying strong in claiming this energy of rebirth. Because the highest outcome is momentum. The highest outcome is you stepping into your fate, and your fate is momentum, and it's getting the wheels turning. It's whatever you have your eyes on coming in quicker than you could ever even imagine. Sometimes life is just waiting for a small internal shift to happen for our external to give us those results. So that's your highest outcome with this beautiful rebirth that you're going through and this pattern that you're becoming aware of, which congrats for your bravery, because a lot of us don't look at our shadows, right? A lot of us don't want to go there. So this is important and this is amazing. And I think a beautiful contemplation for you is to really notice the way that you move in the world and the way that you give, paying attention to the way that you're giving and paying attention to the way that you're also filling your own cup as well. This is going to be important for your next chapter, because sometimes when we overgive, it stifles our expansion, right? And it doesn't mean we don't love people, we don't want to give to people. That's not what that means, okay? It just means that we need to do it in a way that feels sustainable, so that we can so that we can also focus on our own gifts and our own fire and our own creations. So yeah, and I think that when you shift that relationship, people will respect you more, and they'll respect your gift more. They respect whatever you bring to the group dynamic more, because you put a cap on your availability there. When we're too available, sometimes we lose people's respect. So maybe that's also something to contemplate for you with this spread. But I'm telling you, once you have that shift, you're going to be like, things are going to happen quickly for you. But it's like, don't be afraid of the shift. Okay? All right. Let's do pile 2 now. That was a beautiful message. And it's just a reminder for all these messages that I bring forward that treat yourself with the gentleness. We all have our shadows. We all have our weak spots. We all have our blind spots. And it's not about like punishing ourselves or spiraling about it or thinking about all the things we did wrong. Like, no, it's awareness, course correct, shift. Today's the day. You could change everything today. You know, like it's not that deep. Like it's okay. You know, we all make mistakes and it's all perfect. It's all perfectly weaved into this journey. Everything is so perfect and divine. Even the stuff that feels messed up or fucked up or icky inside. Like it all has a purpose, okay? So it's just a reminder too that everything's divine, okay? Okay, let's get into pile 2. The card is creation. All right. Let me go here in the little guidebook because I love this little booklet. It's so cool. It's called Visions of the Soul. Transformation, source, evolution, expansion. In every moment, you are creating yourself and your own reality. The breath of life, the spark of creation from which you were created, is ever expanding. This is its nature. You are meant to expand and evolve. The limitation or extent of this transformation rests in your hands. I love that sentence because the Tower reverse came out, and for this pile, there's an element of like a little bit of resistance towards allowing something to transform or allowing something to fully collapse. And it says here, like, you're meant to evolve and expand. That's your nature. That's what we're all meant to do. That's what the earth does every day. It's like this beautiful evolution that we're all a part of. And the limitation or extent of this transformation rests in your hands because we also have free will. We also have choices. You know, yes, I believe in destiny, but there's also an element of free will that plays into all of this. And so the Knight of Cups came out. So there's something that, like, you are waking up to the fact that you want to be more heart-led in your life. You want to allow your heart to inspire the way that your next move happens. But there's an element with the Tower reversed that, like, you know, like, he's kind of serious, you know, like he knows that something has to change. But it's like it did come out reversed. So what I'm getting is that there might be some resistance to this, or some kind of like, oh, I don't want to see that. Like, I'm not ready. Like, this is too much. But you know something needs to shift, and you know that your heart is calling you towards something. Seriously, your heart is calling you right now. And let's see what else it says here. Yeah, it is up to you whether you open your mind to receive this Tower moment, this kind of like spark to awaken something. And maybe sometimes towers can be a little uncomfortable, but a realization that is powerful. Maybe it's outside of your comfort zone. But it's allowing to receive this and allowing the divine flow of source to direct the path you take. You're a unique expression of life. You are an integral part of life, of creation. Feel that spark of divine creation within. Breathe new life into it and expand inwards and outwards into it. Wow, it's like, I love that spark came out in that booklet because it feels so tied to the energy of this Knight of Cups that is kind of like receiving this little flash, this little spark, this little download of information. And he's like, I need to follow my heart. I need to follow this. But also, I feel some resistance, and I'm a little bit in my head about it. But little do I know that I have the choice. I have the free will. I can take this off. I could take this blindfold off. I could take all of this off. I'm actually free. So there's an element of, it's okay to allow the past to crumble. It's okay to free yourself from those overthinking spirals. It's okay to free yourself from whatever overburdened you in the past. It's over now. This is a 10 of Swords. Like, whatever you've been like not letting go of in your brain right now, it's over. It's literally over. It's no longer a part of your reality. It's okay to allow it to be done with the Tower. It's okay to allow it to just be finished and gather whatever information you received from what happened, right? From this collapse, from this destructive energy. And I mean destruction in a way where it's like, it doesn't have to be that something super crazy happened, but it could have just been an ending. And it's okay to allow something different to begin. It's okay to allow, like, you're safe now for your heart to guide you. Because you've learned from this situation with the Queen of Swords, which she came out again in this pile. But you've learned now that I overburdened myself in the past. I lost myself to whatever I was doing, or whatever maybe relationship I was a part of, or something. I recognize that I have to wake up to a different way of doing things because that was stressful. That was too much for me. And I think right now, since it's kind of all over, sometimes we're left with a little bit of PTSD, or we're left with a little bit of anxiety from whatever happened in the past. But you're really being asked to just really allow it to be over, and allow yourself to gather the inspiration that comes with death. Because there's something important that your heart is trying to tell you right now in all of this. And I clarified this tower with the 9 of Cups, and like, to me, it's kind of, there's this element of, yes, you have gone through a lot, but also it's important to open yourself up to the fact that right now you can decide to feel fulfilled. You can decide, I have enough. Life feels beautiful right now. I feel emotionally safe in my own space, and I'm safe to follow this call in my heart. I'm safe to let go of the burdens from the past, because I know that I'm not going to recreate that. I know the truth about the situation. And I know that that's never going to happen again, because I have the tools and I have the knowledge from those life experiences now. I know how to set better boundaries. I know my deepest truth now because of what I've been through. So now I'm going to act accordingly. And I asked about the highest outcome, and I love how beautifully honest these cards were. I love how they don't sugarcoat, because what came out was the 5 of Wands and the 7 of Pentacles. And to me, like, this is saying, yes, you will encounter other obstacles on this journey. That's inevitable. You will encounter moments where you feel competition, maybe where you feel like you're comparing yourself to others. Maybe you'll feel like people are testing you. Maybe people are testing your patience, right? That's inevitable on this path, but the way that you respond to it is going to be different moving forward. You're no longer in a space where you're going to give too much to those kinds of energies. Like, you're very focused and you know your truth, and you're going to stay balanced throughout those challenges and obstacles and energies. So it's like the highest outcome is that you're a sovereign being now, and that you're heart led. You're leading from the heart, but you're also protecting your heart. You're not just letting it loose wherever it wants to take you. Like, you're allowing your heart to guide you, but with a deep wisdom that you're not going to lose yourself in the process. And like, of course you're going to run into obstacles. Of course life is going to feel like difficult sometimes, but you have a new relationship with yourself, a new relationship with giving and receiving, to where you're not going to give all your energy away. You're not going to allow obstacles to put you off balance, because you're really strong inside now, and you see your heart. And your creations are going to reflect that. But the question here is, are you ready to let go? Because I really feel like with the 9 of Cups here, it's telling us like, just let go of the resistance, because your life is already beautiful right now. You know, sometimes we're, maybe from the way we grew up or the people that we grew up around, like we learned to complain about life. We learned to relate to life in a way where like, oh, things are unfair, this sucks, and like this victim mentality kind of like pitying yourself all the time. A lot of us grew up hearing stuff like life is not fair, money doesn't grow on trees, that are like, you know, all of these programs that fill our brains with bullshit, if I'm being honest. Like, but sometimes we don't realize that those programs are running, and we don't realize that, wait, my life is so great, why am I not appreciating it right now? Why am I so stressed about the past when it's already happened? It's already over. So it's like this card is really asking you to focus on listen deeply to what your heart is asking you at this time. And it's okay to listen to that little spark that's arising inside of you as you're allowing your old self to completely just collapse. And stepping into this beautiful feeling of, I finally made it out of this stressful period, and I'm ready to embrace how good life can get. Spirit, show me how good life can get. My heart, show me how much love I can experience. So I really love that. I really, really love that. And yeah, it's like Spirit always wants to help us, always wants to love us. And sometimes it's our free will that we're so used to a certain way that it's sometimes hard to just drop it and to listen more deeply to what our new self is trying to expand us into. So I hope you resonated with these messages, and I'm really grateful that you're here. I'm gonna leave you with that today, and sending you love. Mwah. Bye.